That doesn't make any sense.
It's just that for everything.
I know. Hey, you want McDonald's? Hey, I'm glad my keyboard.
Alright, we're back. You should be able to hear us a lot better, guys.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello.
Is it working? Mic muted? Oh, that's a lot of poggers.
Yes. Alright, so we'll get it started. We'll go back to that first question again. Sorry about the audio issues, guys. OBS just wasn't picking up an input properly for some reason. I can't hear myself. Alright, so Cook's here. What does this first rematch with Kronobi and RLCS in Season 1 mean for you? Also, how have you adapted since then, being one of the longest-standing relevant players in Rocket League?
Well, the matchup against Kronovi is usually not a good matchup for me because, like, I never won against him at any LAN. And especially, like, the only time I beat him was, like, MLG Pro League MLG Season 1, before Season 1. And I never really adapted to him because I couldn't, like, actually test if what I was doing would work against G2. However, I feel like Yukio will have a big role on that match, and I'm pretty confident.
And I'll be useless as always.
Yukio, did you bring your own keyboard and mouse, or are you giving one in Vegas?
Yes, I do have my own keyboard with me.
Awesome.
It needs a clean.
Another Yukio one. Do you feel confident in the upcoming contest for best RLCS hairstyle, and who do you see as your biggest competition?
I don't know, yeah. I mean, I was at the barber recently before I went to America, so I changed my hairstyle a little bit. I don't know who's my biggest contest.
Turbo.
I would say maybe K-Dub or something. Violent Panda, I don't know.
Okay.
Of course you picked Dignitas.
Who else?
All
Who else is there?
Yeah, all three of them.
With a good hairstyle.
Mystic, are you still not believing that this just happened?
No.
No.
This boot camp is all a myth.
So to Cucks here, and I think everyone can participate with this one. How has it been transitioning from the old roster to the new, and finding the success together, making it to LAN?
Like, changing roster is always a big struggle, especially because I never played without Mark until this year, and having Yukio at the start wasn't very easy until we figured out how to play. But like after you make things work with your teammates, like if you made the right pick, it's gonna pay off.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Although I think it was an easy transition because, I mean, we had to change it up. I wasn't working with Mark anymore.
We had to change it up, but
For me,
we weren't using to someone who wasn't going for every single ball.
But at least he hits the ball.
Yeah, at least hits it.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I didn't mind it too much. I thought it was fairly easy. But then again, I get kicked from every team I've been on, so it's itchy. It's normal for me.
Yikes.
Feels bad, man, in the chat.
So I answered this on the Reddit thread a little bit yesterday, but milk before cereal or cereal before milk? I know there's some strong opinions on this one.
I'm
Milk
very
before
tempted to
cereal.
leave these two idiots.
I don't care. I sometimes do one, I sometimes do the other. I don't really care.
Just wake up one day like, oh, maybe cereal.
For the record, I agree with Dave.
Thank you.
So which team do you see as your biggest threat? And then someone said answer that one again, but don't say Dignitas this time. But you can take it how you want. Who do you think is the biggest competition?
Just for us?
Yeah, I think that's what they're asking specifically.
I would say C9 or We Them Girls.
With them girls, yeah.
We Them Girls always seem to beat us, but Cloud9 makes me the most uncomfortable, like, easily, so... Yeah, if we can dodge them somehow, that would be nice.
Yeah, I agree.
So same person asked another question similar to the Kronovi one before. He said, this is the first time we've seen you play Kronovi since the finals in Season 1. How much does that matchup mean to you, especially since you came close to winning last time?
I mean, I don't really have like bad feelings about Season 1 at all. Like, it was worth it. It was a good match. But like, I do care because like he's the longest player that made like that he was against Danny Lan, and I still have to prove that. Probably I should have won that season 1, but I don't really care. Like, all I care is about playing well this season.
For Yukio, this is the first time we've seen you at the RLCS Finals. How does it feel to compete at this tournament compared to DreamHack?
DreamHack was just like a different LAN event, like not the major tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So RCS is basically the most important, and I've never been to one, so it was my dream pretty much, or like my biggest goal to achieve. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to play there.
Are you gonna flex or what?
If we win, yeah.
Fair enough.
Mystic, in Season 3 you fell in the Grand Finals to Turbo. Does knowing that give you extra drive to beat Dignitas in a potential upper semifinals match?
Yeah. Turbo is literally the bane of my career. I mean, if I play him enough times, I'm gonna beat him at some point. So, you know, maybe this is the time.
All right. So, this is a question every. Which of the current RLCS players at LAN gives the best after-game handshake or hug?
Ooh.
Turbo. Easy.
Sure.
His hugs are god tier. Although I'm usually like really sad after losing to them when he hugs me, so maybe that's why.
Cooks, your thoughts on changing from the PS3 controller to the Razer Raju?
Well, the Razer Rajah is way more responsive, is more precise. I like the extra buttons. The problem with it is probably that it's very inconsistent. It breaks easily. Sometimes it's already broken when they send it to you. So you need to be lucky on which controller like you get, but if it's a good one, it's worth it.
What do you think about the Raju, Dave?
I mean, if you're a normal human being, the Rajah is perfect. It doesn't actually arrive broken. You're lying. But then again, you're weird. So.
Same person asked to Yukio, what's the hardest skill to master on keyboard and mouse?
Probably dribbling, I think. It's my personal opinion.
Cooks here, will we ever see a different car even just for one game?
Not any soon, but if I don't do well, I would probably like change to Dominus or something. But next season, not now.
So this is a little bit more of an open-ended question. Someone asked all three of you, what do you consider your individual strengths and weaknesses in Rocket League to be? And same question, but as a team. So, I mean, if you wanted to start with that, Dave, as yourself, and then maybe as the team.
How much time do we have for my weaknesses?
Got all afternoon.
I don't know. I've got pretty high highs, pretty low lows. I'm super inconsistent. I can't shoot to save my life. And I struggle with mentality a bit as well. Like if I'm not feeling it that day, it's kind of hard for me to get into any series. So if I'm feeling it, it's fine. But you know, if everything is just like, if something just doesn't feel right, then you can tell by my gameplay, I think.
How about as a team right now? What are the biggest strengths and weaknesses?
Our strengths are like the way we find opportunities to score. Like I feel like we score in our own way, not like most other teams. We create like crazy chances and score a lot of goals when we're actually putting the ball on target. Our biggest weaknesses is just like defensive rotations and comms in those like pressured situations.
How about you, Flexi?
My weakness is probably that I become very predictable if I don't play the way I want. If I cannot play my game, I become way too predictable, and I've been trying to fix that. But our team is probably the only weakness we have is literally defense and calling the ball when we have to clear. But other than that, it's like pretty much all like the way I want to play with my team is almost there.
My biggest weakness is probably that I rush too much sometimes. I like jump for balls, I think. Yeah. I don't think anything else. I can't think of anything else.
I can see G2's manager in chat just writing all this down in a notepad. Oh god.
I think he's in the channel, but the next person asked Yukio, who is your favorite player to watch and why is it Jesse?
Just because his reactions are hilarious.
He just responded to it. He doesn't even know I asked you that.
Yeah. I don't know, his reactions are pretty funny all the time. I have to laugh every time I watch him, that's why.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
he's
my
a good
favorite
laugh for
streamer.
It's another keyboard and mouse question. What's the key to dribbling on a keyboard and mouse? So we didn't even see that question, but you mentioned that was the hardest to master. What do you think the key is?
It's just like practicing it in free play every day. Every time you open Rocket League, just control the ball, warm up properly, maybe play 1v1. Would help a lot, I think.
And you probably already answered this because he asked what aspect of playing keyboard mouse did you have to improve the most to go from champ to grand champ and now a pro? Was that dribbling specifically, or do you think there's another answer?
I actually just started to play threes when I was at that rank. I just played threes, and then I hit grand champ when I played with in parties. So it's probably just playing every day, I think. Doesn't really have to do anything with dribbling.
So for the team, someone asked, during league play it felt like you were more and more confident as a team contrary to Season 5. Can you confirm your growth in passing plays and rotation?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty standard. Last season was our first season together as a team. We were still figuring things out. We went pretty hard in the off-season. We fixed a lot of problems, and like that was really the first time we kind of had to fix our problems because we had to pick up a new third and then just settle in, and by that time the season had started and we couldn't really do any drastic changes. So the more time we had chances to fix our problems and get rid of those massive mistakes you saw in the first season.
And then for Cooks here, they asked, do you think it'll feel better to play in a LAN setting, and how much do you think you could perform on the biggest stage 3 seasons after your last appearance? So I guess more of how's it feel to be back in that setting, and how's it going to compare to last time you were there?
I feel like last time I was there, I wasn't comfortable with my team, so it's a very different situation, and I feel like I play more like I want at any LAN. Like I play well on stage more than I do online, and that usually shows. So I think it's not gonna be any different this time.
And just to address Twitch chat real quick, we're going through some of the questions that were already asked on Reddit as we get towards the bottom of these, and we're still feeling it. We'll answer some of the stuff you guys are asking in Twitch chat. So thanks for the participation. So this guy asked, first, congrats on making LAN. How do typical scrims and practices go? Is it more relaxed than league play, or do you go full on 100%?
110%. You can tell by our faces and some of the shots you've been getting, right? We go super ham. There's no smiling. Well, there's occasional laughter when I miss 8 balls in a row.
My bad.
But, yeah, my bad.
My bad.
But no, we go ham. We try to practice as you want to play, in a real tournament. So yeah, we definitely go ham for sure.
Same person asked, do you ever try hard in the online ranked playlist, or is that just typical stay warm and play around?
I tell myself that I don't try hard in ranked, but when I lose, I get pretty upset. So I guess I do, but I don't really mean to. I'd rather just play for fun, but it's kind of hard at this point.
You guys both agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I only try hard. I don't know how to play for fun. Not this game, at least.
If you can make one change to the dynamic of the game, such as adding boost pads, higher ceilings, bigger arena, more teammates in a match, what do you think would make the game more exciting and or better to play, or is it just fine as it is?
Can I?
Go for it.
I feel like we will need, in general, more boost. As the game are getting every game is getting very similar to each other, because the possibilities you have with 100 boost are very limited at this point, because everyone can block you once you have used all of your boost. And other than that, I will like either larger maps, maybe a 5v5, or just larger maps in general with a 3v3.
I don't have anything.
So you kind of answered this already. Someone said, hello to my favorite EU team. What made you succeed so much in this season comparing to the last one? I think you kind of touched that on.
Yeah.
Already.
Can you repeat?
What made you succeed so much in this season comparing to the last season?
Oh.
Probably the experience, I think. For me, it was last season was my first RCS season ever, and yeah.
I think it could have been something to do with the matchups we had this season as well.
Yeah,
we had one game per week for the first 3 weeks, so we had those 3 weeks sort of extra, because if you play two games in one day, and for multiple weeks in a row, your season could be over if you have a bad start.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 3 games where we could really get warmed up and get ready for the season. And we had those really important 4 matches towards the end that we won all of them. So
Also, we got Vitality, where they weren't figuring out how they should play. And also we had in fact all the double matches in the last weeks, so it was very lucky for us.
yeah, I was pretty happy with the schedule we got this season. So maybe that contributed to our season, I guess. What are you laughing at?
Jesse.
God damn it, Jesse.
So you'll be going through hard games against the best teams in the world. What will motivate you during the LAN?
Well, the fact that we've missed the last 2, like Cooks and I, well, season 3 was our last LAN, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, well, we've been waiting a long time to get back here, so we're definitely ready, I think. And like Yukio said, it's his dream as well, so I'm sure he'll be ready for the LAN too.
Would you rather fight 10 cuck-sized Pashis or 1 Pashi-sized Cucks here?
I'd love to fight any Cuck-sized anything at this point, honestly. Give me them all.
Do you think Psionic should add more hitbox/handling options for players to choose from, whether it's in the form of returning some cars to their old stats or creating entirely new ones? And if so, what sort of car would you like to see?
I think they are not experimenting enough with hitboxes, and I didn't like the standardization of hitboxes because like Batmobile has never been exactly the same as it was on RLCS Season 2. They tried to make it similar, and it is, but it's not like that, and I suffered a lot from it, as well as many other cards that got standardized. And I mean, there is not many choices. There are not many choices for players, and I think Psionic should like experiment a little bit. Maybe add another hitbox to the standardized one, and I don't know, give us something to work on.
Yeah. Give us more options, you know. You bring out like super nice cars, but there's no real reason to use them, so make them different, give them a proper use.
You agree, Yukio?
I agree with that.
So, sorry, sorting through some of the weeds in the AMA here, guys.
If you don't flex by the end of the stream, you're gonna lose a lot of followers.
Yeah.
That's what you get for making a flex email, honestly.
Good
So
point.
someone asked, any thoughts about the matchup versus G2? Because last time they pushed us straight to the lower bracket, and then we had to face them again in the finals. How are you going into that this time around?
Isn't it the third time we answered this question?
Not G2 specifically.
I mean, last time we played G2 was at DreamHack Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I assume that's different from what the question asked. I think the question was talking about the season 1 final.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just how it compares
Okay,
to. They specifically asked, is it it's time to revenge season 1, right?
Well, for Cooks it is, yeah, but I
Yeah.
want revenge for that DreamHack. I've been
Gotcha.
waiting for this match for a long time, so
Yeah,
It's gonna be great.
He told me a few times already. Yeah.
How much do you guys practice as a team versus individually?
I guess it's half time we scream, and the other half time we queue ranked alone.
yeah.
Mostly.
Outside of scrims and stuff, we don't really play together as a team. We all like to do our own thing. Cooks likes to play solo a lot.
Yeah,
I like to play solo.
I've been playing also a lot of 1v1s, and mostly solo standard though.
Yeah. I've always played solo. I'm not really a fan of playing in parties. I like to do my own thing. Cookser's kind of the same. Yukio
think
try
I'm-
hards and threes with a party all the time, so
Yeah.
we kind of stay to ourselves.
Big noob.
Big noob.
Who are you most looking forward to potentially facing at LAN? Either a player or a team? We kind of touched on it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Anyone we can get revenge on. G2, Widom Girls, Dignitas. All happy by me.
Yeah, anyone literally.
How big are Yukio's biceps?
Too big.
You got measuring tape?
I don't know. Are you
Let's
guys
go.
looking at Twitch chat? They're demanding something. But
Oh yeah.
I'll leave
That's
it up to
all we can see.
To Yukio, we are coming all the way from Australia to support you. So who do you think is going to be louder? 2 Austrian boys filled up with beer, or a couple thousand Americans?
The Austrian ones.
This is similar questions. How often do you train as a team? We already went through that. Favorite kind of pizza?
With pistachios. It's a particular one we have. It doesn't have a name. It's very particular.
Like 50-50 between pepperoni and barbecue chicken.
Well, I don't know in English. It's like salami. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Salami with peppers, I think, or something.
Okay. Let's see. What does a typical practice session look like? Like, is it mostly just scrim/playing? Are you doing replay analysis to find your weaknesses? Do you look at your upcoming opponents to analyze them?
We do a little bit of everything, I think. Mostly it's just scrims. We focus on how we play before we do anything, and we like to get that game time in to make sure that we're all playing well individually and like it works together and building synergy. Like occasionally if we're having some rough patches, we'll watch some replays just to get an idea of where to go next. Occasionally we'll look into our opponents a bit if we're curious, but we mostly focus on ourselves.
Yeah.
I pretty much agree.
For Mystic, how is it to be captain of Flipside? They also said you're a great player. So.
Thank you, whoever you are. I'm split on this. Like, I've never really been a captain. I was kind of thrown into this position, and I tried to make the most out of it. Sometimes I feel like I do a good job, and other times I feel like I do a terrible job. I'm kind of split on it. I don't dislike being in this position though. I'm glad I am, but sometimes I feel like maybe they deserve a better captain. So.
Good to be honest.
Yep.
So this one's it's slightly harsh for the whole squad. What about the We Dem Girls squad makes them a historically bad matchup for you guys? Or do you even agree with that statement?
Yeah, they're kind of hard to play against.
I agree.
Remco is like insanely good on Dominus. Metza is like probably the best player on the walls in my opinion. And Ignite is just a monster at scoring. They're all super consistent.
Yeah.
Their synergy is good
Also,
too.
yeah, they match very well with each other. They are very complete as a team, and I feel like they are very similar to us, but they are way more consistent as of right now.
Someone asked, how can you concentrate with how loud Hector and Andres are?
You don't. There's no possible way you let that happen.
Yeah.
Yukio went to the gym with him this morning. How'd that go?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Hector being Frost, our CEO, and then Andres, who's one of our developers for Stats Helix, who's here in the team house.
I couldn't think of anyone worse to spot you than Hector. I would not put my trust in that guy's hands. Nope.
How do you find playing with North American players during your boot camp? Do the styles not mesh very well, or are there differences you notice between EU and NA players?
They are weird, in my eyes at least. They play in a strange like ball hog game where it's like one player goes directly for doing a play, follows the ball, tries to block you, whatever happens. They tend to give a bit more possession, but somehow it usually works well for them. We still need to practice a little bit.
Yeah, I think the NA teams have really shown our weaknesses the past like 1 or 2 days, especially like through my eyes. I've seen a lot of gaps in our play versus those teams. I think we've played all the NA teams going to LAN, right?
Yes.
Well, obviously apart from G2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I like playing against them. Like in previous boot camps in America, it was always just super weird. I could never really understand how they were playing, but I think it's more standard this time around, and it's a lot more enjoyable to play against them.
So Cooks here Mystic, guy said, I'm a big fan of the Rajah when it works, but I had many issues with the sticks no longer centering, with my shoulder bumpers failing after my third Rajah, despite only using it for Rocket League. Has your experience been largely positive? Do you have any durability issues with it? Do you take advantage of any of the special programmable buttons, perhaps for dedicated air rolls? Cooks here in particular, how was your transition from the PS3 controller? We already talked about that, so...
Yeah, it's exactly as I said. Sometimes the analog sticks have a dead zone that's completely decentered. There was a controller that came, it was like a square dead zone on one side and not even a circle on the other. It was pretty bad, and they had to return it. As for the balance, I used the extra L1 and R2. But I pretty much don't use the extra bumpers, but nothing like they are still L1 and R2, nothing more. Like I don't use anything I don't set up anything.
I feel like all the Raijus I've had have been like similar. Like if I want a fresh one, or like I feel like maybe I'm having problems like double jumping or something, and I open up a new Rajah, it feels the exact same to me. I have had problems before when I haven't been able to lower my dead zone because it does get decenter, but 95% of the time it's the right stick, and it's not really that huge of a deal. So as long as the left stick is fine, I don't have a problem with it. So for me, it's been great.
And you've got the new versions on the way too. So
Yeah.
have you used those at all yet? Or
No, I'm looking forward to using them.
Yeah, it's a new the Rajah Ultimate, right? Yeah. So. This is still kind of similar questions for Cooks here. How do you manage to keep up with other veterans and falling behind? Have you changed your input bindings at all? Do you still continue to use the default? Do you still use default? Do you feel you can benefit from changing your bindings? As fellow vets Kronobi and Lechnio have done recently, have you done anything differently compared to the vets of SAR PBC that allowed you to adapt?
Well, I tried to change my bindings, but I've been playing with the default controls and old triangle for 10 years, and so it doesn't really work for me. The way I managed to keep up to the top was just like playing against better people and trying as hard as I could to catch up to them. There was a point where I wasn't even like worth being in RLCS. It was I think right after season 3. I had to work a lot to get back in track, and I mean, I always, when I want to do something, I always manage to get there, so it happened.
So a specific keyboard mouse question for Yukio. Do you use default KBM bindings? If so, how do you manage to not make mechanical mistakes when W is used to accelerate, but in the air it is used to tilt the car forward? I imagine fast aerials might be mechanically difficult on keyboard mouse because of this double binding on default keyboard mouse. Was there a specific mechanical skill you felt was more difficult or easier?
Well, the thing is, you only need the right mouse click for the jump, so that has nothing to do with the fast aerial, I think. I use default controls, so yeah, I don't know, it's just practice in my opinion.
You just haven't had any specific issues, just took practice to get used to it, right?
You just have to figure out what you're lacking, and then you just train it until you can do it properly. That's how I did it.
Mystic, you were playing on the Batmobile earlier this season, but seems you switched back to the Octane towards the end of league play and into the regional playoffs. What was your thoughts on the Batmobile at first, and what do you think it was better for you to go back to Octane?
I liked the Batmobile, like the time that I played it. I was super comfortable. I changed it after last season's RLCS, and like I noticed instant improvement when I changed. Stop smiling at me. And after that, we qualified for Gnarly, beating Dignitas twice. So I was like, yeah, I'm using this car for the rest of my life. It's amazing. Then I got to Gnarly and I looked like a complete bot. But I stuck with it because I didn't really have any intentions of switching back to Octane. But after the first couple of weeks of RLCS, I was just getting worse and worse. So I had to change back.
Cooks here, how has your Tekken career experience helped you with your Rocket League career, both in game and outside of the game?
Probably just for mindset, for the comeback mentality, not giving up, especially in 1v1s, and maybe reflexes too. I have very fast reflexes, but that was mostly it, like nothing more.
To touch on that, me and Yukio were watching Cooks play Tekken the other day, and he was getting destroyed by this naked pigeon man. Me and Yukio were just dying at him getting stomped. It was so funny.
You already answered that one. What has been your favorite RLCS season so far? Just all of you. Yeah.
From season 2 for the after party.
Season 2.
For me, this season.
Why Yukio changed his hairstyle?
I don't know, it was just because
Boss.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to make it shorter because I was staying long in America now before LAN, and I didn't want to have too long hairs, that's why.
Gotcha. For Yukio, good job on LAN. What's your opinion on schnitzel?
Schnitzel?
Do you eat them every day?
I don't eat it every day, but I really like it. Usually I try to eat healthy, that's why I don't eat too much fat stuff. That makes me fat, but I still really like how it tastes.
You gotta stay away from those Popeyes.
We've had Popeyes, what, 2 or 3 times since you've been
Yeah,
here? So.
Popeyes is really good.
Popeyes is so good.
I like chicken. That's all.
So for all three, what was your best day as a pro and what was your worst day as a pro?
Worst day, Season 3 Finals for obvious reasons. The best day?
Worst day is when you go into the finals.
Yeah, we lost.
You're done. No,
It's
that's
first place or nothing.
No,
bro.
you have to say the one time that you lost and you shouldn't have, but against a bad team or something like that.
I mean, they were a bad team. No, I'm kidding.
Fair enough.
And the best day was DreamHack Summer when we won that LAN and then got destroyed afterwards. It was great.
How about you, Yukio?
I don't know. I think Gnarly probably for me.
The best?
Think so.
Not making LAN. You scoring the 0-second goal. Hello?
Oh, okay, yeah, true.
And there you go.
Yeah. In league play to qualify for LAN, true. It was probably the best moment.
And so Yukio, what's it like to be the first Austrian and second keyboard mouse player in an RLCS land?
Feels good to be. What? I don't know. Yeah, it feels good to be the best in the country, obviously. And I don't think anyone is actually even close from Austria to me, so it's a
Eco.
confident boost, yeah.
I mean, you are like 3 in Austria.
I mean, there was like GMS or something who was like considered to be
Oh,
the
yeah.
best Austrian player.
He plays with Jazer. He's better than you.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I always felt that I was probably a little bit better than him, but I was not known at that time, so had to prove myself.
Yep, well, you are now.
Yeah.
So. This is a good question. So did the speed at which gameplay developed give you cause to believe that you went from creating a standard to catching up to a standard for a period? Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, it happened for me. Instead of creating the way the game, like the new meta, I was catching up to a new one. Yeah, that happened.
I feel like I was part of that change initially.
You were.
Like myself, Greasy, Remco, Maestro.
No,
maybe?
that was season 1. No, I'm talking about right after, like during season 3 or right after that.
Oh, that
That
change.
was a big change.
Well,
in
I
the
was
game.
thinking of the initial change where you guys were like stomping everyone, but then players started to get super fast.
In fact, it was season 3 and right after
Yeah.
that. But you were kind of the change, yeah. You were part of it.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I think we all know that he doesn't think so, but Yukio, do you think you have a disadvantage by lacking analog input?
Nah, not really.
What are your hopes and expectations for Worlds? I mean, obviously you'd hope to win,
But
but...
on the last question, did you ever feel like you had a disadvantage? Like before you were sort of a pro? Like on your grind, did you ever just feel like maybe you would never reach that level because of it?
I think I did, but I just didn't see myself changing to controller because
So you
I didn't
just-
want to waste my whole time.
You just
so-
kind of got on with it and kept practicing. Okay.
Exactly, until I got there.
Well,
For the whole team, what is your daily and weekly schedule like? How do you spend your average day, and how much Rocket League do you actually play?
Sleeping. An hour of Rocket League, back to sleep.
yeah, no, you
We during RLCS or like around RLCS time, usually like to scream a minimum of like 2 RLCS teams per day. Sometimes we take breaks. Like if one of us has to reset our sleep schedule, or Yukio wants to spend 3 months in the gym, then we let our teammates have that break. But usually we want to practice as much as possible, as many times a week as we can.
Cool. The person had a quick side question. Did you like mid-season mayhem? Would you like to see meme game modes have some part of the season as a fun way to mess around and get pros playing in a chill, no-stakes way in some sweet hoops, drop shot, or rumble?
Yeah, I love mid-season mayhem because
I don't
we
like
won it last time, so undefeated champion.
Yeah, I like it too.
I don't like it because I'm bad at other games.
Wanna 1v1 Rumble oops me? I'm quite good.
Rumble
Rumble
hoops.
oops 1v1. It's quite
Sounds
good.
depressing.
No, it's so good.
I'm very bad at this Rumble game.
We have reached the end of the Reddit questions. I think if you've been looking at Twitch chat, do you want to address the elephant in the room question? Or?
Yeah.
What anime does Yukio watch to prepare mentally for the game?
Yikes. I currently only watch One Piece every Sunday. That's the only thing. I think it's kind of a troll question, so I don't know.
What North American team has the most similar playstyle to EU teams?
Cloud9.
Yeah, Cloud9.
What do they do specifically that's similar?
They pass the ball a lot. They keep possession. They are rotating quite well. They're very solid in general. They're not as messy as other NA teams look. And I feel like also NRG is kind of similar, but they are way more particular. Like they are one of a kind.
Mystic mentioned comm issues in defense while under pressure. How are they working to improve this? So what are you guys working on to improve communication there?
We shouldn't. Since it's more of a strategical thing, I don't really want to answer that.
That's fair. What are your thoughts on LAN being so North American heavy? So far, it's 4 out of 6 LANs in North America. Does the home advantage plus jet lag make much of a difference for you guys?
No.
I don't think so.
I just don't like traveling or flying on my own for that long, but the LAN itself doesn't really matter where
Like
it is.
before you leave, you're like, oh god, I have to travel for
Yeah.
a countless amount of hours. But like once you get here, you're like super happy that you get to travel and see places that you normally wouldn't see. So
Exactly.
in the end, it's good. For the actual gameplay though, like I thought maybe the NA home crowd advantage would kind of suck, but I mean we reached finals in season 3 under Mocket, and we were booed like pretty bad. So I don't think it makes that big of a difference.
So I'm trying to get through all these this spam questions.
Oh my god.
Cooks here, I know you have some thoughts on the matter. Would you make any changes to the camera? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
To the camera, there is a lead. I mean, I should make a new Reddit post, but yeah, the camera in Rocket League doesn't work as it should. It's just so fucked up. It doesn't work. So everything should change in the way the camera works. They need to add more settings. They need to make the setting more precise. They need to add all the stuff.
More keyboard settings, please.
And also add keyboard settings.
There's no keyboard setting. Except like one. It's useless.
True.
How do you get into the right mindset to play the game? Like, how do you get pumped? How do you get in the zone?
I think I speak for most people when it's like you automatically get into that mode when you're in an official match, like a proper RLCS, like league play match or regionals. I don't know, something just like snaps you into that mode, and like you're instantly focused more so than usual because there's so much on the line.
I think it depends on how much it matters to you as well.
Yeah.
Or not.
Because I mean, like in general, we don't really get super hyped. We're like more focused than hyped, but when RLCS comes around, we get like a lot of both, and it goes in our favor, I think.
Who do you think the hardest team to face would be based off of scrim performance? Is that any major difference from your regular thoughts?
I think judging by scrim results, we've been doing pretty well, so I'd be pretty happy to play anyone with the results we've been getting.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Yukio beating Jesse in rank. So how did Yukio feel when Jesse when Yukio beat Jesse in rank 21-2?
I don't know, it was just funny. Like always, he was saying I was so lucky in game 5s, but I always like stepped up and scored on him, and he was just like flaming me all the time, or like how lucky I am. It's just hilarious. And I made an emote out of it.
Worth.
Someone asked kind of a sarcastic question, but I think at its center, it's a good question. Someone said they're 16. Am I too old to become a pro? What advice would you guys have for someone younger looking to get into professional play in this game or any other game?
Is he asking if he's too young or too old?
I guess either way, I would say take a bigger picture question. What would you say to people or kids in general that want to play professional esports?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I think the age is like just about perfect. You're like old enough to compete in most things. Like Rocket League age restriction is 15. I'm not sure about other games, but I assume it's around there too. You got like plenty of time to practice around that age. Just make sure you don't like ignore your schoolwork and your other priorities, and make sure you manage your time best for both.
Yeah.
I think mindset is important as well when you're at that age.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're that age, you have a lot of energy and a lot of motivation. You don't really
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
you don't really waste it. So, you know, if you're motivated, you keep the grind on. You don't. Yeah, but you keep encouraging yourself. You can do anything really.
So, what are some tips for people that want to get better at Rocket League? What are some most important skills to improve?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. You need you have to be good at everything if you want to get a pro. I
Take
think.
advantage of all the tools that you're given these days. Like when we were all grinding Rocket League, well, I'm not sure about Yukio, but we didn't have these crazy training packs or anything. We had free play and online matches, that was it.
Yeah.
The occasional tournament on a Friday or a Sunday. There's tournaments all the time now. Gfinity runs like 4 per week or something like that.
Yes.
Mhm.
There's a crazy amount of training packs. Just make sure you utilize all the things you're given in game.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No.
No, not even once.
No.
And if Scrub's in
It's
chat, I
Scrub
hope you hear
killer.
this.
For
No.
the record, I disagree with all of them, but it's okay. Pineapple on pizza's awesome.
God damn
Can I leave?
it. Yeah, when is this done?
What do you think about Asia and Sam Rocket League?
I haven't really watched it.
Yeah, I don't really know much about it.
It's a question about Asia.
Yeah.
I watched a few matches. They were very recent, I think a few months ago. There was a final of something. I don't know, I feel like they are very team-based. They are, like, they spread very well, they pass the ball a lot. They're still a bit slow, but, I mean, they're Asian, they will probably stomp us anyways.
We still have a job for now, at least.
Yeah.
That's actually the end of what questions we've gotten so far, outside of people asking when Cuxeer is going to start streaming again, and if Yukio is spending all his RLCS money on fast food and anime cosplay.
Oh my.
The answer is yes to all of them.
What conditioner does Yukio use? There you go. No.
Conditioner.
Do you even know what conditioner is?
Yeah, I do.
And you guys have my commitment. We will get Cuxeer a better microphone. All right. And then, so I would just say, what do you guys have to say to the fans? Because we got 500 people watching right now. Anything you wanna say to everybody before we sign off of here and get back to some practice?
You guys can go first.
No.
Keep supporting us.
Yeah.
Your captain.
No, it's been past few seasons have been crazy ups and crazy downs. We went through a lot of rough times, and I still see people that are constantly talking about us in other people's streams on Reddit everywhere. Some people hate us, some people are super disappointed, but in general, there's a lot of people that are super happy, like regardless of our results, and those people make it easy to stay motivated and keep the grind going. So, if you're one of those people, thank you very much.
I agree. I feel like whenever I check for comments about people to like see how we're playing, I feel like most of the Flipside fans are just diehard fans, and that surely helps. Unless you're saying that I carry my team, that doesn't help those two. But yeah.
My ego is at an all-time low. It's not good.
How about you, Yukio?
Yeah.
What do you think about the fan reaction going into your first big LAN event like this, or first RLCS event like this?
I think it has a lot to do that I stream a lot, and they just, from stress you stream everyone, but yeah, I
You're
really
just
like
a big meme at this point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of demand for flex in the chat. I'll leave that up to you. All right, well, thank you guys for joining us. We're going to try and get some streaming up from the guys practicing in the next day or so. They're jumping back into scrimming for the day, so it won't be quite yet. Otherwise, a big thank you from the staff at Flipside Tactics. You can follow along with the rest of the media from the boot camp and going into RLCS on Twitter. Otherwise, have a great day, guys.